Hey everybody out there in the internet and comic book world, and welcome back to another in-depth comic book review. And the comic I'm going to be in-depthly reviewing in this video is The Amazing Spider-Man 696, The Goblin War. It's hot on. In this issue, we get to see Hobgoblin versus Hobgoblin, Phil Urich versus Rodney. I want to make him say it's Rodney, right? Because I don't want... It's Roderick Kingsley. I want to make sure that I say it right because... Lord knows, yes, it is Roderick Kingsley. We'll call him Roddy. Roddy Piper. No, I'm just kidding. So, the original Hobgoblin is back. The new Hobgoblin's in trouble. And Pete's in even more trouble because the Hobgoblin, Phil Urich, Hobgoblin, has brought him in as a prisoner to the Kingpin. And unfortunately, Madam Web's not exactly having a good time here either. No, she was not having a strawberry milkshake. That's foam. She's having a seizure. So, they're using Pete as a bargaining chip. They know Pete had the suitcase. So he wants... Kingpin is going to use Pete as a bargaining chip for Max Modell. But before that... we see Roderick Kingsley in Phil Urich's apartment, and he finds out about Nora, he finds his stuff. Basically, all of his stuff had basically tracker stuff on it, so it was easy to find all of his stuff. And yes, the original Hobgoblin is back. 2 pages of that, how about that? Then Max Modell gets the email from the younger Hobgoblin, or the newer Hobgoblin, I don't even know how to discriminate between the two of them, I don't know. Anyway. Basically, he makes a demand, you bring us the suitcase or, we're gonna kill him. And he's gone. So Max actually breaks confidence and opens up Pete's locker. And it's amazing that Max is so, for a genius, he's really slow because he completely doesn't even realize. I mean, if I opened up this locker and I saw all this Spidey tech, I wouldn't be like, you know, Pete really does do a lot of work for Spider-Man. I'd be like, I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, Pete's Spider-Man. But of course, Max Modell doesn't think about it. Like genius inventors and whatever nonsense. So he takes the suitcase and he's off. We go to the hospital where Madam Web is. And the only thing that the doctors pulled out of her was, in a flash of gold, her exact words were, his future will end in a flash of gold, and we see exactly what the flash of gold is at the bottom of this page, and it involves the Octobot. So somehow Pete's life is going to end because of Dr. Octopus at some point, whose life, ironically, is also ending. So Max brings a suitcase to Kingpin. Kingpin sacrifices one of his red ninjas. Yes, I know who they really are. I'm just not going to. They're the Shadow Lord. Yeah, I just don't want to. I call them red ninjas. Okay? It's a red ninja. They wear red. And they're ninjas. And this one became a transformer. So anyway, they break open the suitcase and it turns out, I should just hold it up. In the suitcase is the Goblin Key. The key to all Norman Osborn's most valuable stuff, as the Green Goblin. But just as they open it up, Kingsley shows up. The original Hobgoblin. And for the rest of the book, at least until the last page, it's Hobgoblin versus Hobgoblin. And while this whole fight's going on, Pete and Max sneak out. And it turns out Max didn't come unprepared. He came with web shooters. Ironic. So Pete puts on the web shooters. He somehow web shoots one of their gliders into the spider, oh god, what was it called? The central transmitter. Pete's no longer going ape shit in his head with all the spider tingling nonsense, and he ends up snagging the Goblin Key, rounding up some ninjas, and escaping. So he gives Max the key. They run like their lives depended on it, and basically Kingpin says, hey listen, wake up here, they just made off with the key. You guys got to put your differences aside here because they're leaving with the key. And both Hobgoblins decide, you know what, we'll kill each other after we get the key back and kill some geeks. The end. To be quite honest, I love Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man. There are very few missed books and a lot of hits. I'm very nervous about the whole Superior Spider-Man. If it's Spider-Man from 2099, I think I'll be a little bit at ease. Not a lot. But at the same time, I'm worried about where Pete's going and how long it's going to take before Pete comes back. And the way it's looking, it could be anywhere from a year to 5 years to possibly even 10, because as we all know, comic book world wise, only 1 year can pass in the comic book world, while in our world 10 years can pass, because this doesn't take place so far after Brand New Day, and for us Brand New Day took like 2 years to get down the line, and then we got into big time. So yeah, and it took 2 years to get from Dan Slott's first issue to almost issue 700. So it takes a lot of years to get through 1 year in Marvel. Marvel moves slower than us, what can I say? So yeah, we can be losing Pete for a good amount of time, or maybe we'll just lose him for a little bit of time. Depends how the fans take it. And ever since the whole mention of Miguel, the fans aren't so upset about losing Pete for a while. But I think if it's a long run loss, eventually the fans are going to start saying, hey, you remember the original Spider-Man? When are you bringing him back? Because this is starting to get boring. So, for the book itself, though, getting out of that whole discussion, this is a really interesting book. Really like it. I'm loving the whole original Hobgoblin versus the new Hobgoblin. Who's going to win? Who's going to profit? And who's going to get the ramifications of two Hobgoblins? Will one Hobgoblin die? We won't know until the next issue. And the next issue cover has me going, oh boy. We got that far. We went that far, didn't we? But really good. Amazing Spider-Man has been, as the title says, amazing. So guys, that's my in-depth review of Amazing Spider-Man 696. 4 out of 5 stars. The reason I give it 4 instead of 5 is because there's always room for little things to change here and there. And yeah, it takes a lot to be a perfect comic. So it's 4 out of 5. We'll see how the conclusion goes. When the conclusion comes out, if somebody else is doing it, of course I won't be able to, but I'll rate it 1 or 5 when the conclusion of this mini story arc concludes. Let's try this again without screwing up completely. When this story arc concludes, I'll give it a full-on rating, and if it's as good as it's been, it's definitely going to be 5 stars. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, show YouTube you liked it by giving it a favor, because I don't do thumbs up and down. You guys know about the sub button, so I'm not even going to give that whole line again. But the one thing I love most, and the one thing I think I'll always say at the end of my videos is I love comments. Long, short, in between, agree, disagree, comments on the book, questions about the book. Even though I've gone through the entire book, there might be something you want to ask. Feel free to. Love comments. I'll be replying either through this channel or through Dark Avenger C86, which is my personal channel. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy reading your Amazing Spider-Man. If you go pick up Amazing Spider-Man, I believe next week, as a matter of fact, 697 comes out. No, it doesn't. I didn't order. No, in about 2 weeks from now, Amazing Spider-Man 697 comes out. Looking forward to 700, and we're getting there. We're in November now. We got 1 more month to go, and then 700. So I'm eager to see what's gonna happen. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. I'll see you guys soon in another video. Take care, guys.